We have the solution finally for the surge for the 300 series. So when the 300 series come out, we notice a huge problem, and we've seen heaps of complaints around this particular issue, and that is to do with the turbo surge between the two turbos. It makes this really, really odd noise, and when it was brought to my attention, I was seriously confused about this particular noise. It was something that I've never heard before in a car. Pigeon-like bird noise that goes between the turbos, oscillating, was definitely a problem. So we had to figure out what this problem was and how to fix it. We come up with a multi-mapping system that had a single turbo variations of that multi-mapping, and that helped us massively to reduce this, but it doesn't fix the problem. It only puts it onto one turbo instead of two turbos. And there are some negative downsides to that because you lose power overall. I really wanted to give the customers the power and also to make sure we did get rid of this particular noise. So all the way through this process, we had AAA Engineering down in Brisbane helping us understand and get through this particular problem, using their engineers to work through the airflow of this system and understand where the dirty areas as well as these choke points and so forth were, and to come up with an intake system that would help reduce the surge, however, improve drivability as well. And we're ticking not just one box, but multiple boxes along the way by doing this intake pipe. There has been delays along the way, but we're finally here and finally producing a product that we're proud of and is working the way that we want it to work. So today we have a 300 series in our shop that's getting an intake fitted at the moment. So we're going to go in there, I'm going to explain some of the technical details about the intake pipe, some of the reasoning around, we changed certain things, and then we're going to put it on the dyno, and I'm going to show you the difference in the power curve as far as before and after, just so you guys can get an understanding of the differences there. So what we have here is the factory intake pipe of the 300 series that we've just removed off this car, ready for our new Just Autos intake pipe that we're about to put on it. I just wanted to show this pipe in its form and some of the differences that you will find by fitting a Just Autos pipe. As you can see, obviously this is made out of plastic. It's not a bad unit. It obviously fits really well and it does the job. However, one of the main concerns that we had originally was to do with this intake sucking in. This particular part number that's on this at the moment is the 3.0, so it's quite stiff, but the 3.1s, which are on the later cars, they suck in, and we have seen turbos have problems in the past. Once you get a block filter, these things do really tend to suck in. So much so we had an insert that was stopping that problem from happening. The great thing about having the Just Autos intake pipe, look, we believe this is about a 90% fix. It's really hard to say 100% because we do a lot of testing. There's a lot of different cars with a lot of different scenarios. We've got these things on cars that are all around the world, not just Australia, and we're extremely happy with the results that this intake pipe is getting. Not only is it helping us with that particular problem, but it makes a massive difference between that transition from the first turbo and the second turbo, and you notice that when you drive the car. As you can see here, it's a cast unit, so we have tweaked and changed this design a fair bit over the last 12 months, and that's why there's been some delays. We've been trying to get this absolutely perfect to make sure that we're not going to have problems, but also tick all the boxes that we're wanting in it. The intake pipe fits into the two turbos here. The PVC still joins in the same position. We have actually necked this out, and that pipe goes into a section of this particular rubber insert that goes to the airbox, and that also helps to stop or prevent any of the other softer intake pipes from sucking in. So it's something that's really important that we wanted to try and address that issue as well. We didn't want to get rid of this and go to a silicone because there's a lot of movement on the engine. Having this rubber intake hose helps with that vibration as well as that movement from the engine. And the last thing we want to do is disturb that. We just obviously didn't want it sucking in. The other thing is that these all use genuine gaskets, so they're all O-ringed, exactly like they are supposed to be from factory. So they fit in there very nice and snug. Same bolt-up patterns for where your engine cover sits, as well as all the wiring harnesses and clips. And as you can see, it's a beautiful looking pipe, and I couldn't be happier with the results. So we just rolled off the dyno. This car already has our Just Autos multi-mapping in it. It rolled out 292 horsepower and 653 newton meters. That's at all 4 wheels on this particular car. It does have the standard intake pipe and also the standard airbox. And so today that's what we're changing on this vehicle. We're going to showcase the difference of the actual intake pipe and how that helps with this particular problem. I'm just going to quickly show you on the dyno graph, and you can see this dip here. This is something that is really, evident on all 300 series where they transition from a single turbo to a twin turbo application because they are a sequential turbo system. That happens around that 21 to 2600 RPM, and when that happens, you're getting this oscillation in the surge wave that's happening in front of these turbos, causing this unusual surging noise. We're going to put the pipe on, and hopefully we start to see a pretty decent gain and result, and I'll show you the end result once we're done. All right, so back on the dyno, the boys have fitted the intake pipe to it and also the airbox on this particular car as well. Mind you, this car is still running the factory side part of the airbox, which is the smaller insert, not the larger insert. When we go to the 4-inch base on these airboxes that match up to, say, like a Safari snorkel, you get a fair bit more gain overall on power, but also airflow. But it's a really good indication to see the differences here. And as you can see, I've zoomed in on this point here, but this is what I want you guys to look at, because this is the main focus. This is this transitioning point. So you see around 2400 up to that 2700 before, where we had this dip rolling over. Now you can see we have this increase coming over here. Not only that, we have a quite nice power curve that comes from that, and the torque curve comes up. It's a lot more responsive in that particular area. The changeover point itself, there's around a 50% gain in power just in that particular area. Now, it's not the power we're chasing there. It's not even the response. It was mainly designed around the surge, and these are added things that you get by solving airflow issues. You pick up response and obviously pick up power. Our boost pressure there, we got another 8 PSI there in that particular area on the changeover point. So there's a lot of those little benefits that make a big difference. So overall, the intake pipe, that's the area where you'll see. Yes, the car has made a little bit more power overall, but again, that wasn't the main focus of this. The main focus is making that surge and transition point a lot smoother, a lot more transient, and a lot better. And that way we can get better drivability and ultimately get rid of that surging problem that majority of people have. Been a long time coming, and we've finally finished our 300 series intake pipe. I'm super stoked to get to this point. I mean, it's a bit of metal, but there's so much blood, sweat and tears that's gone into this. You want to solve your surge, this intake pipe is your best answer.